All right, welcome colleagues. I'm really glad you could join me today for this technical breakdown. Look, as a senior engineer, I've been watching our team try to navigate the absolute flood of AI coding tools hitting the market this year, and honestly, it's a lot. So today, we're doing a complete explainer of the 2026 landscape. We're gonna cut right through all the vendor hype, completely ignore those flashy press releases, and figure out what actually ships working code for our day-to-day needs. Here's our blueprint for today. We're going to look at the benchmark illusion, the crucial choice between IDE and terminal, review editors for daily coding, check out agent power for architectural sessions, dig into security and hidden costs, and finally build the perfect hybrid stack. Okay, section 1, the benchmark illusion, or rather, the massive gap between marketing claims and your actual private code. Let's dive into this. 88.7%. You've probably seen this number, or, something really similar to it, plastered everywhere. Vendors are loudly boasting that their frontier models, like GPT 5.5, solve roughly 88% of standard SWE-bench problems. And if you're familiar with SWE-bench, you know it's a test where AI tries to fix real GitHub issues. So the marketing makes it sound like this thing can practically do our jobs for us right out of the box, right? Well, there's a pretty stark reality to those numbers. When these models are actually put through standardized testing, meaning they're forced through identical scaffolding, no custom vendor tooling allowed, that top score drops to 59%. And here's the real kicker. When you point them at proprietary commercial code that definitely wasn't in their training data, stuff like our private repos, Opus 4.6 falls to 47.1%. And Opus 4.5, that plunges all the way down to 23.4%. As engineers, this is literally the most useful thing to understand right now. When you're building your workflows, you need to advise your teams to plan for the 47%, not the 88%. Moving on to section 2, the choice IDE or terminal. This is the split that pretty much decides everything about your workflow. Picking the wrong category of tool is honestly the biggest reason people think AI is overhyped. There is a fundamental split in how these things operate. On one hand, you've got editor assistants. These live right where you type. They react to your cursor, autocomplete lines, and help out with that fast, daily coding while you stay entirely in the driver's seat. On the other hand, we have repository agents. These act way more like a junior dev. You assign them a ticket, and they go read the whole project, navigate directories, and autonomously edit across multiple files. While some tools are kind of starting to blur these lines, mixing these two fundamental approaches up is a guaranteed recipe for a massive headache. Which brings us to section 3, daily coding and editor review. These are the tools that live right there where you type. So let's look at the daily coding grind where speed and inline context are absolutely paramount. Here we're comparing the two heavyweights, Cursor and GitHub Copilot. Cursor is a standalone AI editor. It's essentially a VS Code fork, and it gives you a totally predictable $20 flat pool for its multi-file agents. Copilot, meanwhile, remains the most widely used extension because, well, it lives right inside the setup you already have. But you really need to notice how its base $10 plan recently shifted over to strict usage-based billing for its agent mode. That's a huge difference. Actually, I want to share a surprisingly hands-on anecdote from when I was testing Cursor's free tier. I give it a cold start task, and because it runs in my actual local environment instead of some isolated sandbox, it noticed my machine didn't have Python installed. So it just installed it. I was sitting there reflexively clicking approve on the prompts, and suddenly I've got software I didn't even ask for. But it didn't stop there. It wrote the code, ran the tests, and when they failed, it just treated that failing test as the next problem to solve. It diagnosed it, fixed a regex issue, and self-corrected until the whole suite was green, all in 6 minutes. It's incredibly thorough, but man, you literally have to read those approval prompts before you click. All right, section 4, architectural sessions and the power of agents for deep work in the terminal. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what happens when you need an agent to act like a true partner on a massive refactor. That's when you hit the terminal. Claude Code, which comes bundled with a $20 Claude Pro sub, is an absolute powerhouse. During my test, it detected a broken local Python alias on my machine and told me exactly how to fix it in my Windows settings. It diagnosed the environment rather than just blindly trying to work around it. But contrast that with the surprisingly generous free tier of OpenAI's Codex, which gives you the flagship GPT 5.5 model. Codex is beautifully conservative. It safely pauses for disk permission before it touches a single thing. And of course, there's Aider, our open source option, where you're only on the hook for your own API key costs. As we build out our toolkits, I do need to impartially report a crucial fact that completely alters the landscape we're operating in right now. As of June 12, 2026, the absolute highest scoring models in the world, Claude Fable 5 and Mythos 5, were suspended. This is due to a US export control directive that requires real-time geographic verification. So they are simply offline right now. What this means for us is that we have to engineer our stacks relying strictly on what is actively shipping and accessible today, rather than chasing ghosts.
Section 5. Security and hidden costs. Let's talk about the 2026 billing trap and some specific niche needs.
I want you to listen to this incredibly stark quote from a developer in Visual Studio Magazine, talking about GitHub Copilot's billing changes. Quote, 1,227 of my allotted 1,500 free monthly credits basically eaten up on day one, changed from an empowering tool to a money siphon. Heavy autonomous sessions can literally drain your monthly budget in a matter of hours. But the real trap isn't even the surprise bill. It's that developers start self-censoring their usage. Once you know that meter is running, you hesitate to use the tool, which quietly kills the exact productivity gains we bought them for in the first place. Now, for those of us dealing with strict enterprise requirements, we need precision. If you're working on air-gapped, highly regulated systems, Tab 9 at $39 a month is practically the only SOC 2 and FedRAMP compliant choice that absolutely won't send your code to the cloud. If you need asynchronous cloud tasks, so essentially treating the AI like an offshore contractor you just hand a ticket to, Devon handles that autonomously. And finally, if you're an AWS shop, heads up. Amazon Q is officially retiring. You'll need to start your migration to their new tool, Kiro, immediately if you want to maintain access to those frontier models. All right, final section, the perfect stack, a hybrid approach. Here is the pragmatic engineer's blueprint. So the crucial point is this. What is the actual battle-tested recommendation for an engineering team this year? Buying a single expensive enterprise seat and just crossing your fingers that it solves everything is a bad move. Instead, we need to build a robust hybrid stack. Step 1, use Cursor for your fast daily inline edits right inside the editor. Step 2, fire up Claude Code in your terminal for those deep, complex architectural sessions where you need an agent reading the entire repo. Step 3, keep that free tier of Codex handy for quick, isolated jobs or script generation. By combining 2 or 3 of these tools, you're covering every weak spot for far less money than one big, monolithic subscription. Colleagues, I want to leave you with this final thought. Take a hard look at your own workflow today. Is your current AI stack actually saving you time, or is it just quietly burning through usage tokens while you sit there babysitting it? I really encourage you to audit your toolkit this afternoon and start rebuilding your stack with the exact right tools for the right jobs. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy coding.